Folks, welcome back. Your man Diamond K in here, of course, radioonfire.com, thediamondkshow.com. We are in the midst of a historic evening as Georgia tallies the votes. Control of the U.S. Senate hangs in the balance. And why do I say we're in the midst of a historic evening? Here's why. As Georgia election officials are counting the votes in what has been a very turbulent 2020 election season tonight. So polls closed in two, count them, two critical races that determine the control of the Senate. And the fate of President-elect Joe Biden's legislative agenda. So in these two Senate races, you have, obviously, Democrat versus Republican. Reverend Warnock facing off against Kelly Loeffler. You had David Perdue facing off against Jon Ossoff. And with the way that this is going, it's not over yet. As of this broadcast, it's 11:40 on the East Coast. The vote in for this U.S. runoff election for the Senate, David Perdue is leading, but it is very, very, very close. 95% of the vote in. And as it relates to Warnock and Loeffler, Warnock is leading, but this is razor thin. You're talking about very, very close margins. It has come down to the wire, as we expected. But if trends continue the way that they're going, at least Raphael Warnock is going to be the African American senator from Georgia. Democrats have not held this seat since the 90s. This is a big deal. And one thing's for sure. Republicans can blame Donald Trump for the loss that it appears that they're getting, at least in the Warnock race. The Ossoff-Perdue race, super close. Super close. There was thoughts that this was going to be a long, drawn-out process over days and days, but they got votes counted relatively quickly. It wasn't as much votes to count, but you saw big turnout. So why are we here? Some people may say, why are we here again? I thought we just had an election. All right, so these two Senate races are left over from the November general election. So the way it works in Louisiana and in Georgia, most other states have done away with this. It's something that took place back in the 1800s, and something that they did to prevent black politicians from getting elected. And he came up with this rule, this law, that if a candidate does not hit a 50% threshold, that they had to have a special election. So in November, no one hit the threshold, but also you have a bunch of folks in the race, and it's almost set up so no one can hit that threshold. And you come down to the top two, and that's what we have, and that's what we have tonight. And like I said, Louisiana and Georgia, the only places to still do this foolishness. But regardless, Democrats need to win both races to seize the Senate majority. Democrats can do this. Then Mitch McConnell, you know what it is. All right, control of the new Congress when Biden takes office in 2 very short weeks. Donald Trump has encouraged his loyalists, his flunkies, to turn out in force as he attempts to undermine. I mean, I don't even want to say attempt, because continue to undermine the integrity of the American electoral system, pressing unfounded claims of voter fraud. He was talking about voter fraud even before the election happened. And I'm talking about the November election. He's talking about voter fraud, and he goes around and he gives his speeches and he gets on Twitter and he tries to campaign for these people talking about voter fraud when they're trying to run for an election. It is the strangest thing. And that's why I said this loss that is coming to Republicans, more than likely, is in the lap of Donald Trump. Blame him for this. Many of you supporters of Trump want to say that he's smart, and he's not smart. If he was smart, he would not be blowing the whole thing up. The Republican Party is splitting in two. And look, let me say this. You can split the Republican Party in two. I don't care, but I'm just letting you know what's happening. This week's election is the finale to this heated 2020 election season. More than 2 months after the rest of the nation finished voting, we are back here, and we are back here in a big way. So this is something that either Republicans or Democrats can celebrate around the country. This is much bigger than just the state of Georgia. Trump and Biden campaigning for their candidates in person on the eve of the election. And like I said, many Republicans fearing that Donald Trump may have confused some of his voters by continuing to make the wild claims of voter fraud as he tries to undermine Biden's victory. There were billboards in Georgia telling Republicans not to vote. Yeah, because the election was corrupt and all of that kind of stuff. And the president has been feuding with Georgia's Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger, who was a Republican who supported him repeatedly for rejecting his fraud contentions. The vote in Georgia has been counted and counted and counted. And it is just, it has been a real fiasco. It has been a real fiasco. But with 95% of the reporting in, David Perdue still leading Jon Ossoff, but the margin is razor thin, and we're talking about less than 500 votes. And Warnock is still in the lead over Kelly Loeffler, and that margin is wider, but 95% has been reported as the votes. So this is down to the wire. This is down to the wire. Tomorrow we're going to be here, and we're going to be talking about what is going to be a very rowdy session of Congress, to say the least. A divided Republican Party. All right, the divided Republican Party is poised to challenge Joe Biden's win. Hundreds of Trump supporters have flocked to D.C. ahead of the vote. The Electoral College, this whole thing is supposed to be a formality. The vice president is getting a lot of pressure from Donald Trump. And for the most part, the vice president has been supportive, has been, a lapdog for Trump. But he's in a tough position, and his job tomorrow is ceremonial. Literally, he's like opening envelopes. He's like the host of the host of an award show, right? You have the envelope, he opens it up, he announces the winner, right? He doesn't have control over who the winner is. If he doesn't agree with the winner, he can't say, oh, well, no, Beyonce didn't have the best album. You know, he can't do that. The only thing that he's doing as the host is announcing the winner. And that's what his role is, based on the Constitution. And you know, Republicans claim that the Constitution is so important, we follow the Constitution, except for when it does not agree with what we're talking about, right? But anyway, that's what's supposed to happen tomorrow. So we're going to see what's going to happen. We are expecting that more than a dozen senators are going to dispute Joe Biden's victory, including Kelly Loeffler. What kind of name is that? Loeffler. So that's going to happen tomorrow. It's going to be a fiasco. But at the end of the day, these are just theatrics. It's not going to change anything. The Electoral College, the votes have been certified. It is over. And many of these Republicans were saying that once the votes were certified, that was going to be it. Well, votes have been certified. They've lost over 60 cases in court. In Trump, courtrooms that these judges were, appointed by Donald Trump. And they still could not agree with the foolishness, the lies that Trump is telling, because he's scared to lose. It makes no sense. All right, it makes no sense. But as these races continue, it's going to probably go into tomorrow before we have in an official. But what's so dangerous about what Trump has been doing is this. Further down the line, 2022, 2024, other elections, when you lose, you're just going to say that the election was stolen from you? I mean, people are going to start imitating this behavior. That's what I have the biggest problem with on both sides, Republicans and Democrats. Whenever you lose a race, is this going to be how people just react? Is this what this has come to? I hope that whoever loses in these Georgia Senate races accepts the loss. And whether there's a recount, especially in the Perdue Ossoff case, it's so close that there probably is going to be a recount whoever wins. Now, understand this. These two Senate runoff elections determine which party gains control of the Senate. It's a big deal. And I think that many people are becoming more politically educated, getting a civics lesson, really having to pay attention, partially because we're home because of a pandemic, partially because the president has been so rambunctious and so idiotic and has been such a failure that it has forced people to pay attention to civics. So it is possible, though, far from certain, that the Senate races could be called late tonight or early tomorrow. More than 3 million Georgians have voted early, a record for statewide runoff elections in the Peach State. So polls officially closed at 7 p.m. tonight. However, as long as you were in line by 7, you were able to still vote. So that is something that is good that happened. But as I said, it is a razor thin margin. Razor thin. Gabriel Sterling, the Georgia elections official, was talking about how close things were earlier tonight. And he's the one that was really vocal about turning down the rhetoric. Let's go to Gabriel Sterling.
I just want to let you know that many of the counties have completed all of their duties, and I'll give you a quick list of those. When I say completed, that means they have done their election day reporting, the reporting of the early voting, the absentee in person, and all of their absentee by mail, which means they took all the stuff that came in today as well. So I've got a chunk of those counties. I'm going to give you the list of those real quickly, and by that I mean really quickly. So completed all of their reporting so far: Bacon, Baker, Ben Hill, Berrien, Bleckley, Brantley, Butts, Calhoun, Candler, Carroll, Chattahoochee, Clay, Cook, Crisp, Dawson, Decatur, Dooley, Eccles, Elbert, Emmanuel, Evans, Franklin, Glasscock, Grady, Green, Gwinnett, not Gwinnett, Habersham, that's right, the check mark went over the edge. Harris, Hurd, Jasper, Jenkins, Johnson, Jones, Lamar, Lanier, Lawrence, Long, Lowndes, Macon, Marion, McDuffie, Miller, Mitchell, Monroe, Oconee, Oglethorpe, Pierce, Pulaski, Putnam, Rabin, Rockdale, Schley, Screven, Seminole, Tift, Toombs, Towns, Turner, Union, Upson, Warren, Wayne, Webster, Wilcox, and Wilkes. Those are the counties that have completed all of their work so far.
All right, so that was Gabriel Sterling, who is a Georgia election official who we've been seeing quite a lot of. So it appears that this is going to go late into the night. It is still very close. With regards to the Perdue Ossoff, the Warnock Loeffler race, it appears that it is going towards Warnock. He is very, very close to 51%, and this has been an interesting turn of events. A lot of kudos has to go to Stacey Abrams. However this goes, she has been so instrumental. Her and her whole team has been instrumental in getting folks out to vote. And just in the engagement, knocking on doors, the grassroots operation. People need to take notes as to what she did and how close she actually came to becoming governor herself. The governorship is, is up 2022, so she may run, she may not. That race there, we don't know what's going to happen there. He may, it's going to be a fight. Whatever happens, whoever it is, Kemp may get primaried. Stacey Abrams may run. Somebody else may run. Hopefully Stacey Abrams will run. But regardless of that, let's stay in the current Georgia Senate race. It appears that Warnock has done it. The Ossoff and Perdue race still in the air. Perdue still in the lead. But it is not officially over. I'm just saying the way that it looks like it's going. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, at The Diamond K Show, at Radio on Fire. If we get a announcement, a victor, official, a concession, we will be back. But you can see it on your screen. Raphael Warnock, Kelly Loeffler, Jon Ossoff, David Perdue. It's been an amazing, amazing evening. Stay tuned, y'all.